All right, so now for my final render, what do I want to do? I want to make sure, provided that my machine is nice, is running okay, that I get the cleanest visual possible. Now, if you're using one of the school's borrowed Macs, uh, you're not going to be able to do some of the stuff I'm about to show. If you're on a machine at home and it's pretty decent, you might be able to crank up some of the settings to get a better look. So temporarily, I'm just going to go into my perspective. We already showed that we go in and in the channel box, turn off all the sliders and the controls. Now, if you turn them off and they keep turning back on and there's pink next to them, it basically means that you've keyed them. So if I did, I would just select their names, the ones that are like that I'm trying to shut, right click and say break connections, and then that will stop it from doing that. But I've got all of those turned off. I'm in mode 7 because I've got it lit. And I want to see those nice little shadows and stuff like this. That looks cool. I don't want all this extra stuff, so I'm going to hide under show, hide my lights, hide the cameras, image planes if you were using them. Basically, we only want the characters and any props or environment that we had. Okay. So that's so far so good. Now I'm going to go up to Renderer under Viewport 2.0 and click the Options button. Here is where we're going to adjust some of our settings. Once again, if your machine, I cannot stress this enough, if your machine is chugging, you don't have to worry about this. This is just little extras. So let's now go to back to our movie cam. And some things not on the Macs that were checked out from the school. I repeat, not on the Macs, checked out from the school. So, anti-aliasing, I'm going to turn on multi-sample. And what you'll notice is that will clean up some of the little jagged edges. Boop, and now it's smoother. Next, I will turn on, well, I'll see what it looks like. Screen space ambient occlusion. Sometimes it's too much. So if I turn it on, actually it doesn't look bad. It gives you just a little bit of extra depth to it. And especially not on the Macs, but the motion blur, if I turn that on, when my character moves fast, it's going to blur it out. Now, with all these on, even on my machine, it's starting to chug.
Now I'm losing him. What do I do? What do I do?
What are you talking about?
Looks like Wreck-It Ralph.
You are Elastigirl! My God, pull yourself together! What will you do?
Now, when you render it, it will not show choppy like that. It's only doing it because it's trying to play it with all this processing on. Right, so that's not the way it's going to look. That's just how it's showing in real time. And if I really want to crunch it, the last thing I could do, oops, let's go back, is if I really want to clean and I've got a powerful computer, is I can go and switch them so I select the big circle and under smooth, switch it to +1. This will subdivide it, but you notice everything is much, much cleaner. Now, there we go. So once again, not necessary, but if your machine can handle it. And you do that to both characters or just the main one that you're focusing on. And after all that, then all I got to do is go in and make sure my Play Blast options are correct. Everything is unchecked, QuickTime format, or AVI if you plan on running it through Handbrake. PNG encoding, I could also use H.264 if you have it. %, quality, custom 1280 by 720. Well, let's call this one Edna Final. Scale 100%, 1.00 is a whole is 100%. Everything looks good. Let's try this out. Oh, and before we do this, make sure your timeline is only showing the amount that you want to animate. So let's say 398 or 400. So I'm going to drop that to 400. And in here, and now it's not going to go past that. It's only going to render this. And then we Play Blast. Alright, so it all finished up. And now it should be all set. So that basically should be it. Now, do you have to go through all of that all the time? No. And there it is. And I'm going to open that with VLC.
Now I'm losing him. What do I do? What do I do?
What are you talking about? You are Elastigirl! My God, pull yourself together!
Now I'm losing him.
And now we see our
What do I
final
do?
animation.
What do I do?
Much
What are
cleaner,
you
better
talking
lighting,
about?
shadows.
You are Elastigirl! My God, pull yourself together!
Now I'm losing him. What do I do?
And that is
What do I
it.
do?
What are you talking?
Now, if you need to send this to me, you need to zip up the whole file, or I need the WAV file and the Maya file. And they have to be set up initially to be in the scenes folder or in your project folder. Just like we went over. And that's if I need to render it out. But that is it. So that's how you would render out your final piece. Got some lights in there, got some shadows, got all your, have your main model, or if your computer can handle it, both kind of cranked up. And we also adjusted just some of the settings, post-process, ambient occlusion, motion blur, cleaning up the filter to what are you called? The anti-aliasing. So anti-aliasing, you don't need to put motion blur. I put it on, and screen space ambient occlusion is cool, except both of these I would not do on the IMAX. So that is it. Let me know if you have any questions. For the remainder of this week, you're probably mostly still going to be working on polishing it up, getting the fingers animated, getting the facial expressions animated, any sort of work with attaching the props, anything like that. So you should be in polish mode. Good luck.